How's it going? How's it going? I'm nice and warm in my house. Nice and warm in my house. The winter storm hasn't gotten me blue, which is great. In case you don't know, there was an Arctic blast that reached all the way to at least Austin, Texas, and beyond, heading south. Did a stream yesterday, which quite a few people watched, according to my numbers. In the whole scheme of things, not many people watch, but for my numbers, a lot of people watch, and I want to say thank you for watching. That being said, we're going to be talking about politics. We're going to be talking about the border. We're going to talk about the Biden administration. So I'm going to go to my favorite news aggregator, which is ground.news. Biden administration demands Texas immediately stop blocking Border Patrol access. Some context is that there's a park that's on the Texas border that's owned by the state. Border Patrol, which is using it to let people in, process them without going to ports of entry. Texas said, hell no, and took over the park and denied Border Patrol access. I think that was last week. And then, unfortunately, some migrants drowned. And now this is the ammunition that Biden is using, saying those deaths are on Texas hands. Governor Abbott, you're a monster. We're taking back this park. You have no say in it. That's the context. That's the skinny of it. But let's see what the story is. This here was published 2 days ago. Updated 5 hours ago. Biden administration demands Texas immediately stop blocking Border Patrol access. Biden administration has demanded that Texas stop blocking U.S. Border Patrol access to a portion of U.S.-Mexico where a woman and 2 children drowned after agents were barred from the area. Texas' effort to physically block federal agents from processing migrants in the public park along the border are hindered by the federal government's obligations to regulate immigration and obstructing federal officials. I mean, what do you want Texas to do? What should Texas be doing? The federal government is just opening up the gates, letting anybody come in, regardless if it's a port of entry or not. What should the state of Texas do? Just bend over and take it? Is that what Biden wants? Just to bend over and take it and have everyone remain in Texas so it'll be a burden on Texas? I mean, is that what the federal government's wanting to do, is break the Texas economy? I'm asking questions. Let's hear. Biden administration is threatening to refer to the matter to the Department of Justice if Texas does not cease its efforts to block Border Patrol access to the border. Well, ma'am, if you stop letting the migrants in and force them to go to the ports of entry, this wouldn't be an issue. I'm just saying, it wouldn't be an issue if they were actually doing their jobs. Now, I'm going to go with the DallasNews.com. They are central, highly factual. I mean, it's owned by A.H. Bailio. I mean, so they're not completely independent, but so your Biden administration orders Texas to stop obstructing federal agents at Eagle Pass Park. Homeland Security threatened to invoke the Justice Department of Texas continues to deny Border Patrol access to the Rio Grande. See here, Austin, U.S. Department of Homeland Security has given Texas until Wednesday, which is tomorrow, to allow Border Patrol agents access to the Rio Grande through state-controlled city park in Eagle Pass after federal government blamed the droughts of deaths on 3 migrants on the state officials. The cease and desist letter sent Sunday to Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton ordered the state to stop blocking Border Patrol agents from entering Shelby Park. If the state refuses, the Biden administration will ask the Justice Department to intervene. And we'll see how they intervene. I'm actually kind of worried about the migration issue that we're seeing at the southern border. I mean, I don't want to go all Tim Pool Civil War talk, but we're seeing some similarities between slavery and immigration. That's all I'm saying. You got the federal government not willing to enforce the laws on the books, and you're going to have southern states, border states, are fed up with the federal government not upholding their end of the deal. I have it word. I'm not saying that we're going to have a civil war, but there's some parallels, some similarities between the two, is all I'm saying. Texas' failure to provide access to the border persists even in instances of immediate danger to life and safety, wrote Jonathan E. Mayer, General Counsel for Homeland Security. Texas' actions are clearly unconstitutional and are actively disrupting federal government operations. I don't think if this story highlights it, but the Border Patrol Union has praised Texas in doing what they can't do. Since the National Guard reports to Abbott and now Joe Biden, whereas the Border Patrol answers to Joe Biden, the National Guard and the Texas government can step in and deny access to Border Patrols, deny access to migrants coming into this park. And the Border Patrols are praising this move because they're not legally able to do that. Because they got their orders, and their orders are to let everyone in, regardless if it's a port of entry or not. See here, Governor Greg Abbott's office did not immediately respond to an email asking how the state planned to respond. Supreme Court, baby. Supreme Court. Old iron wills have said it many times. We're going to take this to the Supreme Court if need be. The friction between state and federal governments over border security operations escalated since Wednesday when the state took control of Shelby Park, almost a 50-acre site on the banks of Rio Grande, over objections of the Eagle Pass Democratic mayor. Yeah, the Democratic mayor says, come all. Your tensions have reached the Supreme Court. The tensions which have reached the U.S. Supreme Court escalated after Biden administration blamed the drownings of 3 migrants, including 2 children. See, Abbott's a child killer because he had let those 2 children die, and our Border Patrol wasn't able to save them. So Abbott's a child killer. Or is that so? On state officials for denying Border Patrol the ability to save the group while in distress on Friday. The Texas Military Department and state officials insist that the soldiers did not deny Border Patrol access to the park. The state militia agency also disputed the timeline of the drownings. In a statement Sunday night, the Texas Military Department said it was inaccurate that the Border Patrol agents request access to the park to rescue migrants, adding that it is wholly inaccurate. The soldiers refused to let the Border Patrol save migrants. At the time the Border Patrol requested access, the drownings have occurred. Mexican authorities were recovering the bodies, and the Border Patrol expressed that these facts to the Texas Military Department personnel on site. In the statement, though the statement said, the military department timeline is different from the timeline put out by U.S. Rep. Henry Celer de Laredo, who announced that the drowning on Saturday. Celer said that the Border Patrol agents were told members of the Texas military departments that the migrants were in distress around 9 p.m. Friday. Soldiers with the Texas military department told federal agents that they would not grant access to the migrants. Celer said in a statement, the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the Border Patrol, did not immediately respond to an email asking if the military Sunday statement was accurate. Abbott on Sunday blamed the drownings on Biden administration and accused Celer and journalists of inaccurate reporting. Let's see here. Turns out Rep. Celer and some media were so eager to point fingers at Texas for the drownings of migrants that they forgot to get the facts. When BP requested access to the river, the drownings had already occurred and found in Mexico. the fact that the deaths are because Biden's open border magnet. And we're just going to click on here. Let's see here. Update claims that the Texas Military Department prevented Border Patrol from saving lives from drownings. Are wholly inaccurate. At the time the Border Patrol requested access to drownings that occurred, Mexico authorities were recovering the bodies, and Border Patrol expressed that these facts to the Texas Military Department personnel on site. Full statement. Austin, Texas, January the 14th, 2024, the Texas Military Department continued a thorough review of the circumstances surrounding the drownings of migrants in the Rio Grande. Claims that the Border Patrol requesting access to save distressed migrants were inaccurate. The claims that the Texas Military Department prevented Border Patrol from saving the lives of drowning migrants were wholly inaccurate. And at the time the Border Patrol requested to access the drownings that occurred, Mexico authorities were recovering the bodies, and Border Patrol expressed that these facts to be Texas military personnel to site. Texas Military Department soldiers were in direct communication with the Border Patrol on the evening of January 12th. When the Border Patrol requested access to Shelby Park, soldiers confirmed that when the Border Patrol requested access to the park, they stated that the Mexican authority had already recovered the bodies of the 2 drowned migrants. Border Patrol specifically requested access to the park to secure 2 additional migrants that were presumed to have traveled with the deceased, though they had crossed to the boat ramp. The new 2 migrants were apprehended by the Texas Military Department, with one turned over to DPS and the other transferred to EMS in response to initial hypothermic conditions. Additionally, Texas Military Department remained engaged with lights, night vision goggles, and thermals to ensure that no additional migrants were in the river or in distress. I mean, this is Ali Bradley, which is covering News Nation. Not too sure what their affiliation is, but I'm pretty sure it's right leaning. So take that with a grain of salt. So even the context that they were demanding that Texas gives up one of their parks, state parks, a state park that is supposed to be enjoyed by the citizens of the country, citizens of the state, citizens of the surrounding areas within the United States, is being used for migrants. That's another thing that the federal government is taking from the taxpayers and is handing over to illegal immigration. That's just my opinion. I mean, we have ports of entry. There's not much we can do about the ports of entries, but we can secure our border outside of the ports of entries. Now, if they were really wanted to be asylum seekers, they would actually go to ports of entry and be able to be legally crossing there. But they're not. So that tells me that either they were lied to, or Biden saying that he doesn't care about the port of entries. They're all going to come over, so we're just going to process them, let them roam free, and then have a court date sometime in the far future, 4 or 5 years, when their number gets called, and maybe they show up and maybe they won't show up. Now, I don't know what the solution is, because no one exactly has told me how the immigration laws are broken or inadequate, other than no one's following the law, either on the migrant side or the federal law, enforcing federal laws that are in the book. I'm not really sure where to find them, or if I were to find them, wouldn't exactly be able to understand them, because I don't speak legalese. That being said, that is my video for today. It's sad that migrants are drowning. It's sad that the federal government is trying to prevent Texas from protecting his border. And I sure hope Biden doesn't win re-election. Now, I'm not saying Trump is any better, but at least his policies were working. At least his policies were working. That being said, that is my video for today. Leave a comment down below if you could explain to me how our immigration policies / laws are broken. I would like to know. I would like a breakdown on why our immigration is broken. Is it the fact that the federal government's not following the law and prosecuting these people? Or is there actually issues with the laws? That being said, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.